From Science Newsletter in the 1940s comes this article by Emily Davis, Minnesota's Mysterious Norsemen. School children may soon find that they have a brand new chapter of American history to learn, a chapter in the 14th century sandwiched in between Leif Erikson's sailing to Vinland in 1000 AD and Columbus's voyage. It is a tale of exploration in America so unbelievable that scientists have scarcely dared to think it could be proved true. The story concerns a band of Goths and Norsemen sailing to America in 1355 and pushing their way deep into the wilderness as far as Minnesota. The Runestone telling about this 14th century expedition was unearthed at Kensington, Minnesota, 35 years ago by Olaf Ullman, a farmer. The flat slab found under the roots of an aspen had curious marks cut into it. It gained such fame that it was displayed as in the Kensington Bank window. It was a slab of dark-colored rock, 31 inches long, with an inscription in runic alphabet characters on one flat side and along one edge. A professor of Scandinavian languages read off part of the writing, and thinking in terms of the 11th century Viking expeditions, pointed out that such writing was not the form then used. European scholars, too, promptly called the stone a clumsy fraud. Mr. Ullman took it back and threw it down for a doorstep in front of his granary. There it lay face down for 9 years. Then Hjalmar R. Holland, seeking data for a history of Norwegian immigration, heard so many stories about the Kensington Runestone that he asked for the granary doorstep. On the edge of it he found the date 1362, and no wonder the runic alphabet characters were not in proper 11th century style, thought Mr. Holland, but would they prove authentic 14th century letters? He investigated, and his translation, which is regularly accepted, is as follows. We are 8 Goths, Swedes, and 22 Norwegians on an exploration journey from Vinland over the west. We camped by 2 skerries by a lake wherein are 2 place rocks, 1 day's journey from this stone. We were out and fished one day after we came home, and we found 10 of our men red with blood and dead. Ave Maria save us from evil. We have 10 of our party by the sea to look after our ships or ship, 14 days' journey from this island year 1362. Eagerly, Mr. Holland searched Scandinavian literature for a Norse adventure to fit this story. He found one. A Norse expedition was actually sent to American waters by the King of Norway and Sweden in 1355. He writes, this expedition appears to have returned in 1364. To many critics, one of the stumbling blocks in accepting the Kensington Runestone as authentic has been the mixed personnel of the group described in the inscription. Goths and Norsemen in one party would be absurd, they declared. But an absurd crew of Goths and Norwegians sailed together on that unique expedition of 1355. Mr. Holland found that out to be quite true. A king named Magnus, who ruled Norway and Sweden jointly at the same time, sent Paul Knutsen with a party made up of men from both countries on a missionary expedition to reconvert a colony in western Greenland. The language on the Kensington stone, a mixture of Swedish, Norwegian, English, and a Latin phrase, is about what you would expect of such a group, Mr. Holland argues. But how did it happen that a religious crusade to Greenland should be massacred in Minnesota? Not finding the colonists in Greenland, Mr. Holland theorizes, Knutsen trailed them first to Vinland, then north around the coast to Hudson's Bay, and to the Nelson River. There the expedition left its ships and ventured into the wilderness in canoes and on foot. And 1,000 miles from the ships came the massacre by the Indians. Another discrepancy was the statement about the camp being 14 days' journey from the ships. But a day's journey was a phrase used by Scandinavian sailors in the Middle Ages as a definite unit of distance equal to about 75 miles. The Kensingtonstone lay just about 14 days' journey from Hudson Bay, in the sailors' terms. The age of the aspen beneath which the stone was found in 1898 has been fixed at not less than 70 years. The first pioneers came to to settle Minnesota about 1850. This would apparently rule out the possibility of a fake. To clinch this fantastic tale of medieval adventure in America, no less than 4 old axes have been unearthed in western Minnesota. These also were branded impossible, but a tour of European museums convinced Mr. Holland that the Minnesota axes are authentic weapons lost by Knutsen's crew. All are of the types used in medieval times in Scandinavia.